Yo, what's up guys, it's Talon, and today I'm basically going to be taking you guys through how I go about improving when I'm trying to learn something new or improve at something or that type of thing. So the last like 3 days, I've mostly gone negative in games. I think I've lost like 3 marks in the last 3 days. So it's not like I'm like losing a million marks, but we're not really going super positive in games. And yeah, basically I'm going to be talking about everything related to how I actually get better. However, this is going to be an unedited video, just be me reviewing for a half hour, an hour, until I go to shower in like an hour. Basically, I was going to just go through these games myself anyways, and I decided I'll record it. So this isn't like a high effort video. It's just a video where I'm going to be talking to you guys about basically how I go about improving. And yeah, you're going to just watch me like I'm literally just going to be reviewing this stuff and trying to figure out basically what's going wrong. So before we go into it, because this early lane phase is not super important, a couple things. This gameplay will be used in my future videos. So like, for example, in this lane phase, like I'm going to make a video about support lane phase. You're going to see probably this game and a few others as well. And so I'm not going to be talking about things that I did well or like trying to teach you guys about those types of things, because in future videos I will teach you about what I'm doing well here, because obviously, you know, even though I will make mistakes, of course a lot of the things I'll be doing will be good. But overall, before we go into the me trying to figure out what went wrong, basically this is one of the reasons that I'm actually able to consistently like be good at the game, and that's what I want to initially talk about. Is like I ended the stream early because I got really tilted, and I ended the stream like 3 days ago early too because I got tilted. And so that's one thing, taking a break after I'm tilted, you know, that's a good thing for climbing. But additionally, like I feel frustrated about the fact that I feels like I like gave up, you know what I mean? Like I decided to not keep streaming and not trying to win. And I mean, there's a couple of reasons for that. Like I'm less motivated to climb because I'm just making videos to make you guys better now and focusing more on that. So I don't care as much about like grinding. And it made me kind of like upset because I'm like, oh, I'm not really actually worried about winning as much. I'm just getting annoyed at the game. Like I'm not even annoyed at what's going, like I'm not even annoyed at the fact that I'm not climbing for like a couple days. I'm annoyed at the fact that these games are just super frustrating and annoying, and so I want to figure out what's going wrong. But that's basically like the thing I'm trying to get across here is that I get annoyed every time something goes wrong, or I feel like I could have done better, or I feel like games aren't going as well as they should have. And when it gets to be a pattern, I get like this, where the first day, the second day as well, I'm kind of like, okay, I mean, I have a couple bad days, like I think I got pretty unlucky, like it is what it is. If I go 3 days in a row where I lose 3 days in a row, at some point there's something that I'm doing wrong. I'm not saying that I'm not playing well, but there's something going wrong at some point that I need to be doing better, or else, you know, I wouldn't be having 3 straight days of just going negative. And that like mindset is the first thing that I do want you guys to genuinely take away before we go into all this stuff. And like I said, it's going to be ranty. It's not really going to be edited or super clean, this video, but it's more just going to be my raw thoughts. And then going through this again, this lane phase I'm not overly concerned with. So yeah, like you're gonna be seeing that pretty much anytime that things go wrong consistently. Like even if on stream today, for example, I was blaming people, you know, and sure, it probably was their fault a lot of the time, but I'm annoyed at myself after that I blame people so much, because like it doesn't matter. Like at the end of the day, I just need to be playing better, and I'm sure there's things that went wrong because I was blaming people, and then I make a mistake because I'm focusing on someone else. And when I get into that cycle, like it's just, you know, it's not a good cycle, and it's not fun to play the game like that. So not only is it not good for climbing, it's not fun either when you just kind of constantly blame people. So yeah, that little rant aside, that is really what allows me to get better at the game, is the fact that I feel that level of frustration and that I'm still able to, like, my way to get less angry is to review my games, not like to not play Wild Rift at all. It's like to try to get better at it. And if you have that kind of mindset, that's a good thing. But yeah, we're going to be skipping through the game. So now going into actually how I review games. So I don't watch every moment of it. Obviously, you might just have to go into your replays. You don't have the luxury of skipping through a stream since I stream this stuff. But I remember this lane phase and this game in general went super well early, and then we kind of threw later. And that was a couple of games, and I kind of want to look at what I could have done, especially related to the throws. So I'm really going to be kind of more interested in the later parts of the game. Like this lane phase, basically all we did, we were patient for our jungle, and in that matchup, all I have to do is just make engages. I mean, here, like, this ult was bad because I ulted without W. I should have waited till my W comes up and then ulted. So that was like a mistake. Like, as you can see, like, I have any follow up here. It's just kind of just a waste of an ult. It didn't really do anything for me. I think my biggest issue with support gameplay so far, just like from like, because again, I'll make a theory of what went wrong, and then I'll watch the games and see if I'm kind of right. But I think like a lot of my problems were with like spell tracking, but of my teammates, like not keeping track of where my teammates can be, especially on engaged support. Some of these games are enchanters, Karma, Nami as well, but especially on engaged supports, like not keeping track of where my team can actually follow up on me. Because of like what they can do, because spell tracking for an engaged support is kind of like reverse. Like you still have to keep track of enemy spells, but you really need to keep track of your teammate spells and location. I think like I found myself a lot the last couple of days, Baron lane and support, being like, where's my team, and thinking like, oh, why didn't they come? And like maybe yes, they could have came if they were playing super well, but I shouldn't expect people to play well because it's Wild Rift solo queue. But I think they weren't in positions where it was like super free to kind of follow up, and I went in a lot of situations where I shouldn't have. And then also this game, the biggest problem for this game I remember was Nocturne ulting and killing my teammates a lot, and then that kind of leading to really negative things. So again, like I said, a lot of this early game went well, and I like kind of smurfed the early game, so I'm not gonna overly be concerned with the early game since that's not where a lot of the issues were. We did a good job of rotating with our teammate, and finding kind of picks for him, and like again, I'm fine with all these things so far. When I'm reviewing, it's not the same as me coaching someone. I'm not looking for every small detail, because improving at, like, the reason I point out all the small details when I'm coaching someone is because I have an hour with them, and obviously I have a lot of knowledge compared to them because I've played this game a bunch, and so I'm basically trying to give them all of the possible information they can have, and then they can slowly work on it. Like, that's what I want. I don't want them to do it all at once. I want them to slowly work on it. So when you're reviewing your own game, you're only looking for one or two things, and like I'm really just trying to see like what are these one or two things that are really making my games actually like losses, for example. And so here the first thing is, I do remember my Callista gets caught. So Nocturne can ult Callista here, which is what he does, and Callista dies. And my Yone goes here, and I go to protect him. So if we look at it, Yone is against Alistar Kayle. I don't think Alistar Kayle can kill full health Yone, but Callista can get 1v1 by Nocturne ult. And I think if I'm really focused, I should be knowing this. I should know, like, this Callista is the one who's really in danger. But my thought instead was just like, oh, I need to go protect this guy. And so we ended up protecting him. I don't even know if I ended up saving his life. And honestly, I should have also... Yeah, I also should have probably gone a bit deeper there. Yeah, honestly, like, I also should have saved... We do get him, so it's not actually that bad of an outcome in the end. So I think, again, the problem is, like, I could have protected probably Callista here. I think it's a small thing, because going on with the Yone wasn't like a super bad choice. But I do think, yeah, and then I tried to flash to save his life, which, I mean, I'm not really mad about the flash. Like I said, you know, I obviously shouldn't have done it, but those aren't the types of mistakes I'm concerned with. So, like, my biggest thing, I think, as an engaged support is that I don't have enough awareness of ADC too. Like, my ADC was strong this game and we won lane, but I kind of ended up roaming a lot and making a lot of plays. And other parts of my map are doing well too, but I think there are a lot more self-sufficient champions, and I think I need to take into account, to some extent, the self-sufficiency of the champions. That relates to the game, yeah. And again, like I said, this is literally just how I think about. So I'm just trying to take you guys in my mind. Like I'm just saying my thoughts out loud. This is just what I think about when I'm trying to figure out what went wrong. So I know it's different, again, than me teaching you something. It's literally just you hearing me think. So I'm aware that's a different type of video, but yeah, I don't think it's like bad. So I'm just gonna keep doing this, but I want to acknowledge that again. So yeah. Let's take into account the first, like, this game went well early, so I'm not overly concerned with this. So it's not going to be stuff I write down. It's going to be stuff I just think about. And then the stuff I write down will be the stuff that I think is leading to losses, because that's like the key thing I want to work on. But yeah, I think my awareness of my teammates ultimately is what's wrong, like, early. Like, I didn't have awareness of Callista when Callista could be engaged on. I didn't have awareness of the self-sufficiency of a Yone in certain situations, and I kind of overvalued yeah, like, playing around him. And then also, I think I'm not that willing to give my life. Like, there was a situation I'm full HP, not peeling my teammate, and I think that happened a bit more. Like, I think I'm not playing enough to peel people, because I'm definitely like a more selfish player, which I mean is good for solo queue, but when you're playing engaged supports, you have to be a little bit more Yeah, a bit less selfish. I mean, here we find a good engage. Obviously, like, I don't really have an issue with this engage, even though my teammate does end up dying to Nocturne. We found a good angle to go in. However, yeah, like maybe we could be thinking about protecting our teammate from Nocturne a little harder and kind of like waiting for Nocturne ult to come out, and then when Nocturne ult comes out, I kind of play from there. Like, that's not a bad idea. If I don't find a really, really good engage. I think here we found a good enough engage where I'm kind of okay with it. Obviously just trying to give my teammate shield, and like I don't mind doing this, obviously, even if I die, which I do. I mean, I get his flash ult. Like, I'm fine with that. Also, build-wise, I should have gotten Warmog second. I normally go Warmog second. I was building what was in my default build, kind of auto-piloting the build. So that was bad. But that's not really anything I'm too concerned about. And then here... Yeah, I mean, mechanically I play this bad, but I don't care. Like, I'm not concerned with how my mechanics are. My mechanics on Recon are good overall. I made a mistake there mechanically, and that's fine with me. I'm not going to be annoyed about that. I don't really get annoyed at myself for making mechanical mistakes unless it's like something I'm like consistently doing. And then here, like, you can see what I mean. Like, we wait out Nocturnal, and so now well, we did wait. We wanted to wait out Nocturnal. My Yone didn't want to wait out, but we wait out the Nocturnal, and like we're in a good situation. Like, I don't even think I needed to flash. So I think again mechanically, like, why do I flash? I can W on that, you know. Like, all I just waste my flash for no reason. Like, I try to do flash plays too much. Like, this is just, I just W here. And instead I flash. No, I have no flash. So that was dumb. And then we also lost this game because we flipped 2 Barons. I guess I should have just gone over the wall to mess with them right away. I mean, like, so like my frustration from this game was like my team kept flipping Barons. I remember this now. I forgot exactly what went wrong, but yeah, I can just go over the wall and zone here. Like, if Nocturne's smart, he's not actually gonna get killed for my zoning because I don't have enough. But yeah, like, I didn't really want them doing this, but then they're on it, and I just kind of have to like heal them at this point and tank because they're low. I mean, I guess this is like something. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe I can go over the wall earlier, but I'm not gonna pretend like there's that much that could have been done differently. And also, it didn't even go that bad in the end because we kind of chased some people down. We got some picks for our Veigar, but I mean, ideally we wouldn't have flipped it, and it was a little hard to stop it, but I maybe could have. Then looking at defending the Baron, I mean, we defend the Baron fine. Like, the Baron didn't do anything negative here, really. We killed them, so we had complete control over the map, and we rotate with our team, and then we find a pick with our teammate. I don't really have a concern with that. Again, this isn't really where it went wrong. So here, okay. Okay, so you're gonna see, like, I got tilted from this game. This isn't the game where I think I made the most mistakes. I definitely think this is the game I played the best in. I'm gonna be reviewing probably like a majority of the games from this 2.5 hour stream, skipping through. But my Kalista ulted me and then killed me because my teammate, because he went in and died, and then he ulted me in, so I couldn't get out. So that was a little rude of the Kalista. I'm not gonna lie there. That was kind of messed up of him. So that was a bit unfortunate as well, and that definitely tilted me. And like I said, this is the 3rd day of like losing games in a row, so I was kind of pissed. Like, my mental was bad. I think ultimately my mental is the biggest thing that needs to change, but my mental gets better, like I said, when I can think of something specific to work on. Because right now, a lot of my goals are like teach you guys things, like teach you how to do, but it's not as much learning right now. Like, a lot of it is like I'm just trying to teach things I know rather than things learning new things, because I want to make all the basic videos first, like, laning, rotating, roaming, like all the basic things you need to know, jungle tracking, whatever. And yeah, I mean, it's also hard to like get a bunch of smaller details improved on in ranked games where a lot of times you're just needing to do the basics and like that's enough to win. But yeah, I mean, again, awareness of my teammates, like positioning in fights, I think is the biggest thing here. Like, even if we look at this engage, I don't actually know why I feel the need to engage so early. Like, I think, like, if we actually look at how it feels cool to find, again, the flash engage from Rakan, but I'm being overly, like, I don't actually need to flash in here. I can literally just walk at them. And I'm getting, like, I'm overly concerned with trying to do flash engage in Rakan. So, I mean, we'll start writing a little bit of notes, just, like, some of the main things I can think about. So I'll just write Talon notes. Because Talon sucks, so we need notes for him, obviously. So yeah, I mean, less flash engages on Rakan. This is not something I'm overly concerned with, so I'll like write down the small things because I don't want to forget them. But I want to have certain focuses, and I'll like write what my actual focuses are, whereas this is kind of a minor thing. Like a big focus is pay attention to what teammates can do. And since this is something I want to improve on, I might actually end up making a video on it at some point. Because yeah, I think it's a useful thing that I don't think about enough as support. Because again, I'm more in the like engage and like carry mindset more than like an enchanter player might think about this more, for example, because enchanters are just naturally more supportive champions. So like pay attention to what teammates can do, and this makes sense to me. I don't need to word it differently. Like if I'm coaching someone, we might have to word it in a different way, explain it more. But again, the point is these notes are for me. So as it relates to knowing what my teammates do, like if we look at this, for example, I don't think me ulting in here does anything for my teammates. So first of all, we look at it. Obviously, I have a dead teammate in someone's mid. Because we know someone's top side, it's okay to like sort of find the fight, but I should be playing a fight like this slow. Like fights where you don't have full numbers, like need to be slow. So again, like I think like on engaged supports, I just need to play slower. Like just play slower. Like that is like kind of what I'm seeing. And this isn't even like a lot of my like this isn't even where a lot of the game went bad. Like I don't think this one's that bad. I don't remember, but again, like I can just W in here, and then I can E out, and then I can have my flash for like a later part of the fight, and I obviously kind of mess up mechanically. And so again, like they were going to kill those two people, and now I wasted my flash. So basically my last two flashes have been completely pointless. I'm fine with the fact that I was at the fight though. Like the fact that I was at the fight was correct, and my teammate luckily does kind of cover. And yeah, but like imagine I had flash right now, like it actually made, and I wouldn't save his life. But there's some situations where having flash does save someone's life. But yeah, I think we do Baron again. So yeah, basically I could have just got off this. So I did, like, yeah. See, this is like where when I'm coaching someone, I'll say the same thing. It's funny because I make the same mistake sometimes. And I tell people a lot of times, like when I'm coaching them, like I do that too, like just because I'm telling you it's a hindsight. And but I didn't need to go here. Like I tell people, like they're like, oh, my teammate starts Baron, and I'm like, yeah, but you encouraged it. And like, look, I encouraged it. Like if I didn't W in here, he's not going to keep doing the Baron. But I encourage it, and then we flip it when we shouldn't, and I know we shouldn't, and then we lose off it. And so it's just a silly, dumb play, and that is like, it's not entirely game losing, but if we don't lose that, it's very unlikely that we lose the game, and yet I get mad about it. So that's kind of bad, obviously. And then again, now I don't have flash here, so I can't make as good of an engage, but we do look for something, because, you know, we want to make sure we get onto the Caitlyn, and we do find a good engage on her. And so we get a couple picks, so their Baron's not as big of a problem, but the problem is they have Baron right when Elder's spawning, like it'll just expire it, so they'll have complete prio over Elder. And then this fight I think goes bad. Yeah, I think like we keep fighting, even though again I don't have my flash, I don't have my ult, and then I think I just play it too fast. Like I try to do something too much again, which again is like the over forcing thing. Like I think I kind of force an engage, because again if we look at it, so I can just think about before the Nocturne ult comes out, I need to be thinking about how fights go. So like, how does a fight go here? Like realistically, what makes a winning fight for us? So Shyvana doesn't have ultimate right now, so she can't go in and follow up. What's going to win the fight is Veigar getting good value from poke and from cage, and Kalista being able to kite back. What's not going to work is me finding any type of engage. It's going to be purely focused on peel, and who am I going to peel? I'm going to peel Veigar. So I should be standing very close to Veigar. Kalista can die, Veigar can't. So basically, as long as the Nocturne ult isn't going on Veigar and I'm protecting that in some way, like, it's fine. And then, okay, what's Nocturne going to do when he goes in? He's going to spell shield, so I need to keep my Q up to spell shield to block his spell shield, and then I need to W after. And so then here, that's what we see. Veigar gets caught, because I didn't think about helping Veigar. Now, Veigar might have died anyway because he was positioning poorly, but if I'm thinking about him and I followed him there, there's a chance that Nocturne's like, oh, I can't go on him. There are Rakan's right there. There's too many people grouped. Or even he accidentally clicks on me because we're right next to each other. Actually, I don't know if Nocturne ult's like an icon thing, or if it yeah, it's probably an icon thing, so you can probably click it, but it doesn't matter. The point is, he'd be more scared to go in. I might be able to peel my teammate. But I didn't think about how the fight's gonna work. And so like after this happens, I get tilted, I get mad about it. And like, yes, my teammates made mistakes, but like I have things I can do differently. Like my awareness of my teammates is lacking. And this is again the game where like I got S rating, so I didn't even lose a mark here, but like basically we're winning. I encourage flips on Baron despite knowing that flip, like I literally tell it in like half my videos that you shouldn't flip a Baron when you're ahead. and I help my team. Like the first one, like I said, I don't think there's that much that I could have really done differently, but the second one for sure, I encourage it, and that's the one that was really more game losing. And then from here, I mean, we're just behind. Like, I don't really think there's that much. You know, I obviously missed my W, but like I'm not concerned with missing a spell. I'm concerned with the choices, and largely I didn't have enough awareness. I die here. I mean, I think it's kind of a desperation thing. But again, if I really think about it, like, is this going to do anything? Like, obviously, no. Like, my team's not in a position to follow up. They're going to Nocturne all. If I'm actually thinking about what they're going to do, it doesn't make sense. Obviously, that was, you know, again, a tilt engage. But yeah, I mean, the points are pretty much these 2 points. Not the first point, but these 2. Like, pay attention to what teammates can do and play slower on my engages. Like, if I'm doing these things, I mean, I think already, like, there's a lot of improvement that will be made, and that's what's going to throw some of these games. And so that's the thing, too, is a lot of times people will have, and, like, for example, I could play the same way I play in these games, and I get, like, my teammates are decent, and we will win a majority of those games because I'm still playing well throughout most of the game. But the problem is, when you get those games where your teammates are just slightly worse and then they'll make a couple of these mistakes and then you're making these game losing mistakes, that's like what's going to tilt the scales, I guess, in the enemy favor. And yeah, it's going to be frustrating when you throw these types of games, when you play well throughout the game and then you make a couple of mistakes and leads to you losing. But like I said, there's very clear mistakes being made by me, and yet I'm getting mad about teammates. You know, it is what it is. Like I said, I mean, I'm not overly concerned with the fact that I get mad at teammates. Sometimes it happens, but I shouldn't, like I said. And then again, like, I don't play slow. Like, I think I look for an engage here. Like, I mean, this is just tilt engage. Like, this is just stupid. Like, what the fuck is this, you know? Like, this is obviously stupid. And again, the game is over already, but that's still stupid, and it's tilt, and it's not leading to anything positive. So yeah, first game, basically our thoughts are we need to be more aware of who we can peel, and we need to play a lot more patient and slower on these engages, right? And like be more aware of not throwing instead of doing whatever the heck that was. I have like 30 minutes until I'm gonna go shower. I usually sleep at 11. It's 10 right now. I usually shower at 10:30. I'm pretty scheduled, so we'll do this for 30 more minutes basically. We'll see what we can find from those 30 minutes. Again, my lane phase, I'm laning well. I'm pretty confident that I know how to lane well. There's probably small details, but again, we'll speak about this in the laning phase video. You'll get, I'm pretty sure this will probably be a lane, maybe, that I talk about. We'll see. But maybe, you know, this might be something we kind of focus on. Yeah, I mean, nothing too complicated here. This gank, again, we're patient. Like, I could have flashed if I needed, but we landed the bubble on him, and everything there is fine. We basically permanently have prio, and we have a scaling champ. We use it to push, you know, our recall to push mid, go back to our teammate. I mean, I think, like, in this lane phase, yeah, like, also this matchup, you're not going to get that much out of it. Like, Kai'Sa's not that strong early, so the only way you're really going to get anything done is with a gank. Other than that, it's just about having prio in this matchup, and we had prio the whole time. You know, pretty much throughout, unless, like, jungle cam. Only thing maybe I could do differently is use the prio to get a bit better vision. But we had vision at certain points, and basically we're just trying to bait them here into our jungle. Like, it's kind of what you could see with me, like, fighting harder there is literally just like, I want to bait for my jungle. Like I said, I'm never really scared about dying in this matchup, so, and I understand, like, that's kind of the time where I can actually get something done, so that's what I do. We rotate to our teammates, we catch out Master Yi. I'm fine with these choices so far. We catch these people too. I think my camera control is a little messed up there, but yeah, it's fine. I mean, if we look at it, at this ult, can I wait to bubble? Okay, so actually, there is a problem here. So what is my problem? You feel free to pause and ask yourself what you think my problem is. With spell use, it relates to spell usage, like how I use my spells here. Like, there's something wrong with how I use my spells. I talk about it in my videos a lot, and yeah, so basically the problem is not the ult. The ult is fine because it'll slow them. The problem is that I bubble here. The reason that's a problem is because they haven't used their mobility. And so I know that my Lissandra is going to go in and stun them. So I typically tell people, don't use your mobility spells to catch someone until after they use their mobility. So like if I'm Vi and I have first ability and ult, first ability in, but don't ult until they flash or until they dash away. The same is true for abilities that aren't mobility, like my bubble. I want to wait until they use their flash, otherwise they can flash to dodge it. Or in this case, Quirky can W to dodge it. So instead of layering my CC too heavily where I ulted and I bubbled on someone who's also going to get Lissandra, you know, thinged, whatever you call it, W, and ulted, it's just too much. We used 4 forms of CC on one person. So mechanically speaking, I used too much, so I couldn't follow her. I don't know why Milio flashed, but I could have bubbled Quirky. And then maybe Quirky has to flash, or maybe he dies. Or maybe I miss, because I suck. Who knows? But something would have happened. And then here I'm pretty hard over forcing on purpose. I think this is fine because we know they're all on the other side of the map, so I just want to get Quirky a little low and create a dive. But we don't end up finding a dive. I'm fine with that choice. So yeah, I mean, this is Enchanters. Enchanters are like absurdly easy champions. And I know there will be less mistakes overall, these champs, but there's still going to probably be things I can think about or like work on. But I mean, overall, this game was quite a rough team too. Like I definitely, you know, like I said, it's obviously a mixture of getting bad teammates and being able to carry harder if I play better. And it's a support role, can sometimes be hard to carry from, but we'll see what else we can do. I don't ever try to delude myself into thinking there's more I could do than I really believe. Like, I don't think there's really anything I could... There's like small things I could do differently this game, like the bubble thing, but there's nothing that I'm actually concerned with. And also I want to make it clear, like if someone better than me reviews things, like maybe they'll think differently. Like obviously, like for example, when I'm coaching someone, they might review their game and not see things that I see because I'm better than them. I've, you know, played way more and climbed higher. And it's the same for me, you know, like I'm sure like the best pro Chinese players watch it, they'll see other small things, right? So when you're reviewing your own games, you can only know what you know. Which is why, like, coaching or watching a video, these things are useful for learning new information, but reviewing your own games is useful for playing to the best of, like, your actual ability as far as your own knowledge goes. Like, it's not about gaining new knowledge, it's about making sure you're utilizing your knowledge properly. Again, here, like, I don't really have a problem with how I played this. My teammates are pretty bad here, like I'm gonna be honest, and I'm not gonna, again, I watched this game, I'm not really having people to follow that well, so I don't think there's that much I can do differently. I think there's a couple times where Garen gets a decent amount of value on side lane, and one thing I could maybe think about doing is following him harder and giving up like a turret, for example, but I think it's a bit not playable. Yeah, I think this is probably like one of the more unplayable games. And again, like I said, I mean, I've already gained a few valuable insights, you know, from the first game. But yeah, the second game, I mean, there was really just the bubble mistake. I mean, frankly, I don't think I made another actual mistake. As I said, you can always like nitpick really small things, but what I'm looking for is general things that I can improve on. Then this lane phase, I definitely made some mistakes. The Nautilus game. So yeah, I mean, I think the lane phase might be something I think about more from my laning video when I'm making that. So I'm probably going to be less concerned with lane phase mistakes. This one, initially, I think my problem is just going Q here. I should just go W and just walk at them. Q only works if I land it, but obviously it's not a guarantee to land because it could hit the wall. And it's just better to go W and walk at them. And I mean, my Caitlyn plays it bad, but like I'm not concerned with Caitlyn. So actually, let's think about it too. Like if we look at it, I know after I root Senna that she's going to, and I think I accidentally auto a minion. Yeah, I kind of messed up my autos, which I could have portrait locked. So if I just instantly portrait locked, then I wouldn't have messed up my auto. So that's something that I should keep in mind. And then right after I root Senna, I should immediately root Jhin, because then he can't go and auto attack and Caitlyn can space easier. Whereas if I keep targeting Senna, Caitlyn's really low. So again, like at this point, it's already bad for Caitlyn. I need to like just root people and try to get out, right? Rather than keep going in. And obviously, like the issue is the reason that I'm tilted from this, or I was tilted from, I'm not tilted anymore. It's been like 3 hours. I was tilted from this at the time. Is because my Caitlyn takes way more damage than she ever should. Obviously, like if she's playing well, she's never going to take as much damage. But the problem is I'm all concerned with that, right? Like I'm concerned with what Caitlyn does. And I'll point it out here because I should mention it. But again, in this lane phase, Caitlyn wouldn't die if I just rooted Jhin right now. But you see how I keep autoing Senna? I'm not going to kill Senna. Caitlyn's already 1 HP. And then obviously I hook a wall. I am not at all concerned with the fact that I hooked a wall twice. And this is, again, what you guys also need to understand. Because when I am, and yeah, I'll kind of go on a random rant about this, because why not? When I'm like coaching someone, or when I just hear someone talking about improving on their gameplay or whatever it is, they'll often feel embarrassed about it, or they'll get mad at the wrong things, or they'll like, I don't give a singular flying fuck that I missed 2 hooks on a wall. Like, I'm genuine, like, I used to feel like embarrassment to it, but I just don't. Like, I've played this game so much, I'm going to hook a wall sometimes, and it's a completely reasonable thing. Like, the person's right next to it, I miss it. I'm only concerned with the decision making that went into that, you know? Like, should I have tried to hook the person there? Like, is the outcome that I expect to probably be positive? I think the first hook, again, the problem is I should have taken W, because W gives me way more HP and makes me have way better combat, and means that I can just walk up and do the same thing anyway, threaten them off so that my Caitlyn gets more space. Again, that's what I'm concerned with. Missing the second hook on Senna, the problem is that I was thinking about Senna at all. Like, I should have been on the Jhin, you know, rooting him and just giving my Caitlyn the opportunity to space. Because since we have melee versus 2 range, I need to be thinking more about creating the opportunity to space, or for my Caitlyn to space, and then to find it all in. So that's the first thing. Then there's kind of a weird skirmish here. We rotate in it, and I think it goes pretty well. But again, if we look at the team fight, like, I want to concern myself with spell tracking of teammates and opponents here. If we really look at it, like, where do we want to kite the fight based on strength? Like, I think we want to kite up if we can to Swain, because he should be stronger than a Caitlyn in this type of fight. But other than that, I mean, I'm pretty much just CCing who's in front of me, and I don't think there's much else I really need to do differently. So I do that, and we go on Morg. I think I could have probably walked at Jhin and Senna a second earlier. I backed off instead of walking forward initially, but we end up still killing Senna, and we get our flash. So, I mean, overall, it's positive. The hook is stupid, too, because it's like, nobody can follow that hook. He'll just leave. And so I could think about that, too, like, a little more in terms of just literally being very, very intentional about every small spell I'm using. But, yeah, we just back off after. Then we use push to come. And, yeah, I find a nice pick on her here. Basically, we use the fact that we have Prio to go into their jungle. I know that their jungle's not here, so I get vision, we get a pick. I'm happy with that. Again, I'm not here to teach you guys, so I'm not concerned with that. Then yeah, I use mid push to rotate in again, help my teammate, but we don't really want to overcommit. I just hook in case he comes to try to steal. We find a flash blow on the Jhin. So again, we do like a lot of good things, and like, it is important to like acknowledge that you make good plays, so you're not just like tilted at yourself when you're reviewing games. But yeah, then I decided like I want to protect Caitlyn here, because yeah, I mean, like, the Scion and the Senna are there together, so I think another problem here is, yeah, I mean, mechanically, like, there is a lot of mechanical misplays I remember from this game. I think it was probably my worst game played of the stream. And yeah, here I should have ulted Senna as soon as I went in, because then she would get stopped, but instead she's gonna E, right? And then I can't ult her after. So that, or I could have Q flashed instead of flash Q, because then it's easier for them to do that. And then again, like, I make the game like hard for my Caitlyn, because like Caitlyn here, I mean, okay, she is never mind. I'm gonna blame her for this. She stands in front of a Scion Q. I don't think I can, but I know, no, we can. We don't have to, like, obviously she sucks, right? We can acknowledge that, but I can ult him right now, and then his Q goes away, and then he's not in danger. But I'm only thinking about killing. I'm never thinking about peeling. Like, again, it's a lot, just like, yeah, it's just peel. Like, it's essentially just that. It's the same point, but just like peel. Like, just doing this, just writing this a couple times in a couple different ways is just, it just like cements it in your mind again. Like, these are probably going to be the things I'm really concerned with, is just everything related to not getting overhyped on engages and playing slower and less flash engages. You can see these are really similar points. Pay attention to what teammates can do and peel more. These are very similar points. And that's the point. Like, you word the things differently because they have slightly different contexts, but they're very similar mistakes. Like, it's the same root cause. So I've only have 2 like root causes to my mistakes, even though I wrote down 4 things. And that's what's important to identify, is not the mistake in the sense of I did this thing wrong in the game. It's why am I doing that wrong, and what is the actual like cause of that? What is the actual mistake there? The mistake isn't you know, the mistake isn't that I missed a hook on a wall. The mistake is that I was thinking about hooking them at all. And so I need to understand that. And so then here again, I don't give up on the fight. I don't know why. Look at my cooldowns. I have nothing. I just start walking at them. Like, if we think about it, right now, I could recall, go topside, and make my Jax's game easy. My Jax is starting to get a bunch of gold on himself. Instead, I walk up trying to salvage a play, you know, and just for no reason I die, right? Like, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't do anything. And again, like, I think, like, you know, it's just me not thinking, like, straight. It's just simply I'm just, like, not thinking while I'm playing. And then, yeah, like, at some point, I'm getting so frustrated that I'm just, like, I'm just, anything goes wrong, and I get really, really annoyed. And I'm sure we've all had that, where we have a couple bad days of games in a row. And all of a sudden, every mistake feels like the worst mistake ever, and you're, like, super frustrated. But we can see that the same mistakes come over and over, and they're ultimately what's leading to a majority of the negative outcomes are the same mistakes. And then here again, like, Morgana has, why am I hovering mid against Morgana? So then let's think about another, again, conceptually speaking, like, what does Nautilus do well? He's really good at finding pick. Like, what does Nautilus do well not in team fights? Like, outside of team fights, he's really good at finding picks because he can easily see someone and run them down on side lane. How can I find a pick in mid lane against a Morgana when they have 3 ranged champions all hovering? I have no one who's very strong. Like, we don't have a lot of gold. I have no flash. You know, like, I don't, why would I sit here? Like, what did it, I'm doing nothing. This is stupid and useless. Even if it worked, even if I just somehow kill all 3, I don't even really remember. Like, I just, like, I look for a hook, and then I ult the guy who has Morgana Black Shield, because obviously that's going to happen, and I die. Like, it doesn't make sense. It makes no sense. As you can see, like, there's games where I play very stupidly, and I do a lot of stupid things, and then half the time I blame my team, right? Like, I'm getting tilted for no reason, you know, in the game, and it's because I don't take the time to think or calm down. I let the fact that, like, I did bad in a different game tilt me from another game. And so again, it's I want to identify the root causes. I'm not, like, mad at myself for getting mad during a game, like it's a fucking video game, but we identify the root causes. The root causes are that I'm not paying attention to my teammates enough, not paying attention to what my teammates can do enough, and I'm getting tilted and letting previous games, you know, go into my next game and make the next game negative. And so again, like, what do we just say? We don't want to keep grouping for team fights random times when we're behind. We're losing fights. We're 3 and 8. I'm Nautilus into Morgana. I can't go in a bunch of, you know, engages on mid lane. My Caitlyn's bot side. Why don't I try to go get a bot side pick with her? You know, and then, like, look, like, Morgana's here. Like, imagine I'm able to find something. Instead, I go and I hover this random fight and we die. So again, like, I'm concerned with the wrong things. My champion can do something different than their champion, like their support. Their support is going to group with a team, and then every time, you know, again, they keep getting to fight on me. That's kind of a nice hook, though. But they keep getting to just fight us even numbers, like, every time. And we get caught, we die again. Like, it's the same thing, right? Every time, the same mistake. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty much just, like, we'll lose from it. Again, like, we're hovering mid. Like, here I'm fine with hovering mid because it's Baron, but the problem is all the times, and this hook is bad again, obviously, but all the times before this, I shouldn't be hovering mid because what the fuck am I going to do mid against Morgana? But now that it's Baron, I can use the fact that I'm a tank to get control of the Baron side, like the Baron, the bush around Baron, that type of thing. So I'm okay with taking space in here now because Baron's up. The problem is that I'm actually trying to engage. Like, I need to understand my goal here. My goal here is really to be in a position where I can corral the enemy into a specific spot so my teammates can maybe poke them. And then if Morgana uses Spell Shield, I engage on someone else if my Swain can flash in. So I should be checking if Swain has flash, if Swain has ult, and where Jax is, and if Jax can jump in. But obviously those, you know, things aren't present. I'm going in here without really them having that much ability to do that much. And they kind of do. You can kind of see the fight sort of works out. And this flash is dumb, obviously. But the fight kind of goes how I said it should go because Swain and Jax did end up having a decent ability to go in. But the problem is, and this is obviously a dumb hook after, but the problem is I didn't think about flashes. Like, I didn't look at does Swain have flash, does Jax have flash, you know? So again, like, we'll just do another small thing, like check teammates' flashes. Like, check flashes and ults before fight. And basically, I need to be thinking more about how I want the fights to go. Like, what do I imagine? Because again, we just did it here, and I actually, I forgot this fight, but like I told you guys, like, how is the fight going to be won? It's going to be won if I find an engage and then we get flashes from Swain and Jax, right? And that's what happened, and that's how we won it, even though we kind of, you know, fucked it up at the end. And that's the point, is like, I can tell I can tell you guys in 5 seconds from looking at it how the fight's supposed to go, but during the game, I'm just engaging mindlessly without checking. Because again, like maybe Jack's flash was 10 seconds away, hypothetically. And then I go in before he can flash in, but if I waited 10 seconds, he could flash in and then we win the fight. And understanding that is very, very important. I think like I'm good about finding the enemy target, like who's the Fed person I need to target, who can I get, whatever. But I'm not good at thinking about it in my team, you know, from my team's perspective. And it's kind of a mistake I've had before. Like I've talked about it, I think one other video, there was a time where I talked about it as well. So we can see it's kind of a recurring mistake, and you're not always going to fix your mistake completely the first time you identify it. At this point, I realize like I can't kill Sion, so it's, yeah, there's nothing really like this. I'm not really concerned with this mistake. I think that was fine hovering, and then we lose the game. So yeah, I mean, we've really found kind of what we want to think differently about. I don't think I'm going to find more. I think we actually won this Karma game. This Karma game was played pretty well overall. I mean, I made a few mistakes. It was a weird start, but yeah, I mean, what we have a 41-minute video. I think like ultimately you can see this is how I kind of go about, you know, figuring out what I need to do better. And I figured, I mean, why not make a video out of it? So yeah, I mean, I hope this was useful. If you know, feel like you need to improve, this is a great way to go about it. And again, the mindset of like getting annoyed at the fact that you're losing, and using that to improve rather than just going and spamming more games or just like not playing the game for like a week. I mean, taking breaks is good, obviously, because the game's only meant to be fun, but this is fun for me, for example. So yeah, I mean, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.